Hello, and welcome back to Colts Franchise. It's time to hop into the offseason because, as you can see, we dropped a big old egg in our first playoff game of the franchise. Lost to the 7 seed Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson threw for almost 500 yards. We had a pretty good game offensively. We picked off Deshaun Watson a couple times, but we just could not get it going. So, we're going to get through the playoffs here real quick, do a little season recap. And then for this video, we're going to go all the way up to the end of free agency and be fully prepped for the draft. And then the draft and preseason will have their own separate video. Let's get through the playoffs real quick. Interesting Final Four here. You got the Chiefs, but then you've got the Cleveland Browns, the Carolina Panthers, and the Seattle Seahawks. The Cleveland Browns obviously have Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb. They've got potential Rookie of the Year receiver Connor Hughes out of Wisconsin. He kind of diced me up, not as much as Elijah Moore did. You know, they've got Myles Garrett. They've got Denzel Ward. Really not surprising to see them there. They're a team that would be doing well if Deshaun Watson was worth a damn, but he's really not. On the other side, of course, you've got the Panthers and Seahawks. Seahawks just fired Pete Carroll today. Well, I don't know if they fired him, but they mutually agreed that he would not come back as head coach. He might end up being like the GM or the president of football operations. One of those titles that they give people. Anyway, Bryce Young is like an 85 overall, only star dev. The Seahawks are led by Cole Galloway, a rookie quarterback. I don't remember what school he went to. I want to say it was like Penn State or something like that. But he's a normal dev quarterback who's playing at like an 80 overall or something to that effect. So, be really interesting to see what happens here. I'm going to go for Panthers and Chiefs in the Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs taking it down. Let's see. Well, I said Panthers and Chiefs. It is going to be Browns and Seahawks. Very interesting. So, you either get Deshaun Watson raising hell in every massage parlor in Cleveland, or you get the rookie Cole Galloway leading the Seahawks to the Super Bowl. Be very, very interesting to see what happens here. I root for Deshaun Watson's downfall at every chance that I get. So, we're going to pick the Seahawks here. But first, let's check out the Pro Bowl roster. All right, looking at the Pro Bowl roster, Anthony Richardson, QB1. Yeah. Anthony Richardson, Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes. On the NFC side, you've got Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, and Bryce Young. Halfback, you've got JT, of course, Saquon, Bijan, Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, and Christian McCaffrey. Hey, Lamar Bynes made the Pro Bowl. Lamar Bynes, our rookie fullback. I mean, he is leading the number 1 rushing attack of all time, basically. So, yeah, we love to see that. Evan Thomas, that's another rookie fullback. Kyle Juszczyk and CJ Ham on the other side. Wide receiver, we see Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Josh Palmer, T. Higgins, Cooper Kupp, Chris Godwin, Stephon Diggs, Josh Touchdowns, the wide receiver 5 for the AFC, his first Pro Bowl appearance. Brandon Cooks, Deebo Samuel, Tyler Boyd. Tight end, you got Schoonmaker and Pitts and Harrison Bryant in the NFC. Travis Kelce, Ingram, Andrews in the AFC. Offensive line, we have Quentin Nelson and Mekhi Becton and Braden Smith all making the Pro Bowl. That is huge. That is huge for our O-line development. Love to see that. On defense, Will Anderson there, DeMarcus Lawrence, Aaron Donald, Chase Young. Let's go, baby. We chose to keep him and trade Kwity Paye. Looks like we made the right choice. Micah Parsons, Von Miller, Jonathan Simmons, John Kaminsky. You got Derek Brown, Wardam, DeForest Buckner, who got injured and missed our playoff game. And that is how his career as a Colt will probably end. We'll get into that later. Chris Jones, Dexter Lawrence, Vita Vea, PJ Hill, PJ Watt, Rashawn Gary, Van Ness, Crosby, Bolton, Warner, Vander Esch, Murray, Lorenzo Carter for the Falcons. Wow. Josh Uche for the Patriots. You got William Gay, Kayvon Thibodeau, or Willie Gay, Nate Hobbs, Jair Alexander, Brian Branch, Levi Wallace, DJ Reed, Byron Murphy. Really nobody else for me, I don't think, which is sad. Jalen Ramsey, Jalen Johnson, Jalen Hawkins. A lot of Jalen's there. Justin Simmons, Kevin Byard, Cam Curl. Hey, Nick Cross makes the Pro Bowl. Let's go, baby. We love to see that. Love to see it. What a huge breakout year for Nick Cross, man. Hopefully he just becomes just a huge star in this league. All right, it's Super Bowl week, and before we find out who wins the Super Bowl, we got to look at our yearly awards. Patrick Mahomes wins another MVP. We see that Anthony Richardson finished 6th, and Jonathan Taylor finished 8th in MVP voting. Coach of the Year, Matt Eberflus. They just announced, the Chicago did, that they're bringing him back for another year. Surprised not to, oh wait, there we are. Jim Harbaugh, number 5 in the NFL. You know, Harbaugh got a lot of coaching rumors, just won the national championship. Maybe he ends up in ATL. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. All right, we are going to look at the NFC first and fly through it because we all want to see the AFC. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, Offensive Player of the Year. Micah Parsons, Defensive Player of the Year. Cole Galloway, the quarterback for the Seahawks, wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, looking to win the Super Bowl. We see Ricky Hamels for the Bucks, Lennox Forbes, a tight end for the Commanders. Dante Bryson is a running back, I believe. Taylor Parks is a receiver. Interesting. All right, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Christian Dupree for the Buccaneers. Very nice. Morgan Barkley is an X-Factor, superstar X-Factor cornerback for the Cardinals. Emery Neal, he's the safety from Auburn, the strong safety from Auburn that we thought about taking over Tevin Harvey. Best quarterback going to go to Dak Prescott. Saquon wins best running back. Amon-Ra wins best receiver. Zach Martin, Micah Parsons. You got Fred Warner winning best linebacker. Jair Alexander best DB. And Graham Gano winning best kicker. Taking a look at the AFC now, and Jonathan Taylor, second year in a row, AFC Offensive Player of the Year. Nick Chubb, Pat Mahomes finishing behind him. Nobody else from our team finishing there. Kind of surprised not to see Anthony Richardson on there. Maybe too many interceptions. I don't know. And DeForest Buckner, second year in a row. Defensive Player of the Year for the AFC. TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Josh Uche. Nick Cross ends up at number 8 here. Man, there's Levi Wallace. Interesting. And we got to make sure we send DeForest Buckner far away from us to the NFC, and just somebody will never play, honestly. Okay, Offensive Rookie of the Year is Connor Hughes, the receiver for the Browns. If you watched last week's episode, you got a preview of him. He pretty much dominated us. Cole Cooper, number 2 in that voting. Just scrolling down here, we see that the Broncos have a couple of people. Damian McClain, X-Factor, tight end. Devion Money. Michael Hazelwood is that running back for the Bengals with 99 break tackle. Dennis Ford, the quarterback out of Stanford. We played against him. And then Braylon Tate for the Chargers. Nobody for us. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Joe Livingston of the Texans. I was really hoping that Tevin Harvey would get it. He is going to finish number 2 in Rookie of the Year voting, which is unfortunate. He's only normal development, and I was really hoping we could get him up to star. Andrew McKinney for the Patriots. Devin Yarbrough for the Jets. Interesting. Yeah, okay. I mean, finishes number 2, and that sucks. Anthony Richardson going to finish number 6 for best QB. Pat Mahomes wins that. Jonathan Taylor wins best running back, of course. Joshua Palmer, best wide receiver. Mike Williams ended up going to, I want to say, he went to the Panthers in free agency in the offseason and has become, the number 1 receiver for Bryce Young. Took him all the way to the NFC Championship. And then Keenan Allen left for, I think, the Lions. So Joshua Palmer ends up the number 1 in LA and takes advantage of that. Jamar Chase, Josh Downs finishes number 3. Wow. If I had to choose anybody that really broke out this year, it was Josh Downs on offense, Nick Cross on defense, for sure. Really, really great to see that. Best O-line goes to Creed Humphrey. Really surprising we don't have anybody on here. I don't know what's up with that. Best D-line, of course, goes to DeForest Buckner. Best linebacker going to go to TJ Watt. Best DB goes to Nate Hobbs. Really hoping Nick Cross will be able to grab that. Best kicker goes to rookie Max Weaver of the Steelers. The results are in, and your Super Bowl champions for the second time ever are the Seattle Seahawks with rookie quarterback Cole Galloway leading the way. MVP is Patrick Mahomes, Coach of the Year Matt Eberflus, Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year from the Colts, Jonathan Taylor and DeForest Buckner. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Cole Galloway. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Christian Dupree. And Draymond Jones wins Super Bowl MVP. Wow. Wow. Love to see that. Got some really big names in the retirement list here. Fletcher Cox, Harrison Smith, Cameron Jordan, Robbie Gould, Kevin Zeitler, Morgan Moses, Aaron Donald retiring after 11 years. I would be shocked if this man retired after next season. Wow. Jason Kelsey, Stephon Gilmore, Darius Slay, Taron Armstead. We're losing Ryan Tannehill and Casey Hayward. Patrick Peterson, Robert Woods, Chandler Jones. Wow, those are some big names retiring. Let's look real quick. We've got some upgrades. These are going to be our practice squad guys. Evan Hull might find his way onto our roster next year. I don't know. We'll see. We'll definitely give him some run in preseason. I don't foresee myself drafting a running back this year, but I mean, I guess you never know. Ahmad Dorsey really needs to grow a little bit more. Probably a candidate to stay on the practice squad for another year. Darrell Baker Jr. and Dallas Flowers will probably be fighting for a roster spot next year, honestly. They've both been on my practice squad for a couple of years. Both of them will probably be fighting for that fifth cornerback slot. I don't know. Maybe neither one of them makes the team next year. I'm planning on drafting at least 2 cornerbacks. We got to fix our pass defense stat. And then we've got our 2 speedy rookie receivers. Jonathan Callaway here. He's got 95 speed, which is really good. And then Alani Stamper. He's got, I believe, like 94 speed. I'm not really sure. Let's see. 94 speed, yeah. So would love for one of them to make the squad, but I'd also love to add a speedy receiver in the offseason. Titus Leo, I should probably move him to defensive end. I probably have him at the wrong position. Let's just be honest here. Andrew Ogletree is not very good. Probably will never make the squad, but hey, have an upgrade. Oh, Ryan Madison here, undrafted rookie quarterback. I mean, he could eventually find his way on the roster as a backup, maybe one more year on the scout team, and then be the backup to Anthony Richardson. Young guy out of Yale. All right, it is time for the re-signing period, but first, we need to take a look at the newest mock draft that has just come out. Chuck Randolph, consistently the #1 player on the board for a long time. This is his first time on the top of the mock drafts, though. Clarence Maynard has always been up top, but Chuck Randolph up here. Greg Barnett shoots up to #2. Marcus Trent at #3. Enrique Collins at 4. And Justin Randall at 5. A lot of speed rushers and power rushers, a lot of edge threats in this year's draft. We also have a couple of first-round quarterbacks. Earl Johnston in there. Sidney Leary here out of Houston. Clarence Maynard falls to #8. But we have the 20th pick. It is the pick that belonged to the Arizona Cardinals, now belongs to us. And with the 20th pick, they are projecting for us to take Tevin Ferguson, a speed rushing outside linebacker from LSU. Not likely, and let me tell you why. A, because he's a 3-4 linebacker. Obviously, I could move him to defensive end. But we've got Addy Addy. Is Addy Addy a world beater? No, but he's superstar. And he is somebody that we have bigger needs. So, yeah, I doubt it. I doubt we take him. Looks like a good player, though. Speaking of Addy Addy being a superstar, let's double check. Let's go through and see what kind of dev traits we've got throughout the team. Did anybody regress, get a dev trait upgrade? I don't know. All right, we are just in the X Factor database. We are just going to go straight to the Colts. Oh, no shot that Josh Downs and Nick Cross got superstar X Factor? There's no way, man. And Addy Addy, Quentin Nelson, and Anthony Richardson keep their superstar abilities. All right, Nick Cross is going to be rocking reinforcement as his X Factor. flat zone KO, and out my way as his abilities. Right now until we unlock more by getting him up to an 85 overall. Love that, man. And Josh Downs is going to be rocking Yak 'em Up and Short End Elite and Run Off Elite. All right, one more thing to take a look at before we hop into re-signing players. You see this little thing right here, right above my head? Fill staff. That means somebody in my staff got hired away. One of my coordinators got my offensive coordinator. He grew up and he got hired away. So now we gotta hire a new one. A little choked up about it. Okay, but that gives us an opportunity because I tell you what, I've really been wanting to create my own playbook, and that gives me a head canon reason, storyline reason to switch up the playbook anyway. Let me take a look through these people and decide who I want. All right, we have hired offensive coordinator Kevin Stokes. Spent some of the talents the points that we got for hiring him. He's got +1 run block power for wide receivers right now, +1 awareness for O-line, +1 pass block finesse for right guards, left guards, and centers, and +1 medium route running for wide receivers and tight ends. We also used a little bit of that extra to boost up our trade value for our user players heading into the offseason. All right, we got 12 players ready to negotiate. Some of them we're just going to pass up on for whatever reason. DeForest Buckner, though, he is no longer interested in being a Colt. It's a shame. His number one motivation is being close to home in Hawaii, which unfortunately we probably could not be further from that. So we are going to franchise tag him. So all we got to do is just withdraw our offer here. And then back out and then go back in to re-sign, and we will go ahead and franchise tag DeForest Buckner. That signs him to a 1-year, $24.5 million contract. We could keep him, but we're going to trade him. A, because I want him to be happy. B, because that's more fun. And C, because I wanna. All right, some of these guys, Evan Jackson, if you're not interested, I ain't losing sleep over it. Same with Tyquan Thornton. Ryan Kelly is interested in re-signing, but we've got a center that is ready to step in for him. So we are just going to pass up on him. Jamie Sherwood, we'll see you later. Noah Brown, also see you later. Taven Bryan, I wish that he was interested in coming back. He's a good depth piece, but unfortunately he's not interested. Saguna Olubi, I would love to bring back as a backup defensive end here. Let's see if he will accept a 2-year deal. Here, let's see if he will take this deal for 2 years. He's going to test out free agency. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate, but you know what? It happens. Trey Hill, I would like him to re-sign, and I don't mind this deal just right here as a depth piece on the offensive line. He's going to come back. Okay, so we re-signed Trey Hill. We franchise tagged DeForest Buckner. That's about it that we've done so far. Josh Sills would like to come back. He's just not very good, though. We don't want to bring him back. Logan Thomas, no thanks. Rigoberto Sanchez, I would bring him back just for continuity's sake, but he doesn't want to come back. So we will be having a new punter next season. All right, it is free agency week. First, let's look at some news stories here from the Combine. AJ Ross, really poor 40 time for the right outside linebacker from Southern Utah. Florida quarterback Jerry Lane, who looks just like Cole Galloway, reigning Offensive Rookie of the Year and Super Bowl champion. When you play the way Jerry Lane did at Florida, you don't need additional opportunities to show off. Oh, so Jerry Lane skipped the Combine. I could have read the headline. Left tackle Bryce Rivers struggled through drills. Incredible Combine from Oregon tight end Brandon Colvin. Looked as prepared as anybody and made the most of his opportunity. Oregon right tackle Josh Alvarez made 225 pounds look like it was nothing. Good Combine from left tackle Wyatt Richards out of Iowa State. And that's about it. Okay, so I kind of want to check out Brandon Colvin. I haven't been impressed with any tight ends that I've looked at so far. We'll take a look at this guy, Josh Alvarez. And then I want to see if any wide receivers ran like really, really fast 40s. No, I don't want to quit. Let's hop into the combine results real quick. All right, Brandon Colvin out of Oregon. First thing I noticed, needs to work on simple concentration drops. We do not love that. Exceptional body control on the sidelines, avoids big hits. So he's got good traits except for that top one. He's 6'5", 269. They said he had a good combine, 4'6", 440, 21 bench press reps. I mean, he's pretty good. It's a pretty good combine. It's not really blowing me away, though. Let me tell you who Brandon Colvin reminds me of. He reminds me of Jelani Woods. And I've already got Jelani Woods. We got Jelani Woods at home. So I'm not really sure that he's somebody I want to target. Let's take a look at that right tackle they were talking about. Okay, Josh Alvarez. Yeah, he lacks discipline, resulting in avoidable penalties. He had 34 reps on the bench press, which is okay, I guess. He had a better combine as far as athleticism goes, honestly. I mean, yeah, he looks good. He definitely looks good. Unfortunately, he's round 1 projected, and we're not wasting any first-round picks on a right tackle. We've still got Braden Smith for another year or two for sure. All right, now just scrolling through these wide receivers, this is a poor wide receiver class. We're just looking for any good 40s that we can find. Just looking for some speed to add to the team. Tyler Babb here ran a 4.35 40. That's pretty good. He's got elite acceleration and agility. F medium route running, C release. He does have A spectacular catch. C to F awareness doesn't give me good hope for his development trait. I mean, he actually looks like he could be pretty good. He's got A to C juke moves, so he could be pretty good after the catch. He's fast. I do worry about that awareness. C to F. Let's see. Keon Franks ran a 4.49, but honestly, that's 23rd receiver, and he doesn't look that great. We got a 4.35 here from Max Kirkpatrick. Elite acceleration as well. That's not bad. He's a little bit bigger than Tyler Babb. He's 5'11 as compared to 5'8. The D catching traffic, D spectacular catch, F medium route. That's not very good. And I'd be willing to bet that that awareness is a C or a D and not a B. Let's see. Next one that catches my eye here is Demetrius Wilson with the 4.34 40. Unfortunately, he's a undrafted free agent projection. F catching traffic, C injury, F awareness. Yeah, he doesn't look very good. Yeah, I mean, so really only like 2 people. There's a 4.42 there. Really only like 2 that are catching my eye. There was Tyler Babb and Max Fitzpatrick, I think was their names. They both ran pretty quick 40s. Both like round 2 to 3 projected, or day 3, something like that. So maybe could find something fun there with some pretty fast guys. I really just want a burner, you know. I don't have anybody that's like 95 plus speed. Of course, not very many people do. Here's Jake Wade, potential undrafted free agent. Pretty athletic, 4.35. The skills, not exactly where we want him. He's got B deep route running, but F juke move, F me. I mean, he basically runs in a straight line really fast, and that's about it. All right, so we're going to hop into the free agent pool. We're going to see who's available, kind of see if there's anybody that really stands out to us. But before we make any offers, we got to get DeForest Buckner's contract off of our books. We franchise tagged him. Now we got to trade him and see what we can get for him. Okay, looking at the free agents. Ooh, Joel Bitonio there. Fun fact, he actually was at Auburn for like a year before transferring to Nevada. Zach Martin. Dude, look at the 3 superstar offensive linemen here, and I'm not going to go after any of them because our offensive line, we're already like super committed into our offensive line. Lots of money already into them, and there's just really no need to splurge there. But that is nice. We're going to need a backup quarterback, but, you know, we can figure that out later. Don't really need a running back. Receiver, we could look to add a receiver. Elijah Moore cooked us in the, I keep wanting to say the Super Bowl, in the playoffs, the divisional round. DeAndre Hopkins could be a mentor to our young receivers. Joshua Palmer is a superstar now. He won wide receiver of the year. That would be an interesting pickup. He has no real interest in coming to us, though. Nobody else really, like, super stand out here. Tight end. Ooh, David Njoku is interesting. He doesn't really have a whole lot of interest in us, and we would probably have to overpay for him. What is his speed? Oh, that's a huge contract. 10 to 13 mil a year for 4 years. And he's, how old is he now? He's 29 years old. Yeah, I don't know if I can commit to that. Would love to add him to the squad. He's only got 86 speed. I'm really hoping for like more of a receiver hybrid. I mean, he is a receiver tight end hybrid, and 86 speed is actually pretty good. But I was kind of thinking that he might have like 88 or something like that. But interesting there. Jonnu Smith, we could pick up as a backup if we wanted to. Donald Parham. Looking at the D-line, there's Samson Ebukam, former Colt. Really, we might pick up David Onyemata here. Just his depth, maybe. We did lose Taven Bryan. He's interested in us. He could fill in when Grover Stewart's injured. And if we're losing DeForest Buckner, we are going to need another D tackle to fill in. So if we're not getting one back in a trade, then we're going to have to sign one. So that'll be interesting. Charles Omenihu here out of Texas. Maybe I could, I don't really see any D tackles that I love. Might want to get one back in a trade. All right, looking at linebacker here. I mean, we do have Shaq Leonard, who I'm sure has regressed some and will continue to regress. But he's probably a good player for us for the next year or two. And then we've also got Trenton Simpson, who we're really, really hoping to develop. But Owen Papo didn't really do much in his role as right outside linebacker, so we could look to add somebody there. I do see Divine Diablo here. I believe he led the league in tackles last year. He is 27 years old, but we could get him on a nice 3-year contract here, maybe even a smaller contract than that. I don't know. We're not gonna make any offers yet. We're gonna do the trade first, but I think he had a really good year last year. Let's see, 141 tackles, 133 the year before. Just really solid. And we've talked about this before. Could you have a better name? I mean, honestly, Divine Diablo. It's just perfect. 89 speed. He is a 77 pass coverage, 74 run stopper. So he would fit in at right linebacker for us, or middle linebacker, and we could shift Trenton Simpson over. But I think we like Trenton Simpson in the middle. So that's a good target right there. We still have Kenny Moore as our slot corner, so I'm not really looking to add any of these veteran corners. Jalen Jones fills in. I'm really just looking to add through the draft. We're drafting corners for sure. I could get like a veteran backup free safety to play deep in my big nickel formation if I don't end up drafting a safety. So some interesting options there. That's the position that Daniel Scott's been playing for us, and he's just not very good, let's be honest. So we've got DeForest Buckner in on the trade. It makes me very sad to see, but it does make our cap room shoot up by over 10 mil, so that's really great for free agency. The Bears have 64 million in cap room. That is absurd. They actually have 76 million. 64 million is after they take on DeForest Buckner's contract. Anyway, let's get offers and just see what's offered to us. We'll probably end up having to build our own trade. But, okay, wide receiver Levi Walker. I mean, this is a terrible offer from the Bears. Christian Kirk, 4th round pick and 7th round pick next year and a 6th round pick this year. That's not horrible. I don't want it, though. Johnny Crockett, star dev, 2nd year cornerback. Not horrible. Christian Gonzalez, 85 overall, 23 years old, superstar dev cornerback, and a 3rd round pick next year. I mean, that's crazy. We don't need a right guard. And then Amari Cooper and 2 7th round picks. Okay, so we don't want Cooper's contract. This right here is the trade to take, right? But let me tell you something. We would be ripping the Patriots off. And I just can't do that in good conscience. So we're going to try and build our trade. Plus, I want to try and send DeForest Buckner to the West Coast, honor his years of service with us, and honor his wishes. So let's see what we can build. All right, so it turns out that all of the West Coast teams are in terrible cap space hell. So we got as close as we could and sent him to the Cardinals. He's got 1 year to play on a franchise tag, and then he can decide where he wants to go. DeForest Buckner, Arizona Cardinal, makes me sick. We're sending DeForest Buckner and a 3rd round pick this year, my 2nd 3rd round pick, to the Cardinals for Trey McBride, who is star development, 75 overall. He's going to slot in as my number 2 tight end this year, and I think we'll just roll with Woods and McBride. And then we got a second-round pick in this year's draft, next year's draft, and the draft after that. So I think that's a pretty good deal for us. Okay, so we did one more deal before we hop into free agency. Gabe Davis last one season with the Colts. He just wasn't worth the $10 million we were paying him. We are getting Leonard Williams back, who's on a decent contract. We're going to slide him over to D-tackle. Let him be our 3 technique, where DeForest Buckner used to be, and let Grover Stewart be our 1 technique. We're getting Wan'Dale Robinson back, kind of a gadget player, do it all, and then we're swapping a 7th round pick for a 6th round pick. So it doesn't necessarily clear cap space, but it fills a need at D-tackle where I didn't really see anybody to sign, and the D-tackle class is very, very weak in the draft. Like the top person is projected round 3 to 4, and then we get to day 3 guys. So not really sure what the solution is long term. If there's somebody maybe we can pick up later in the draft, but we needed somebody to come in and play immediately. So Leonard Williams is going to fill a gap for us. All right, we got 3 offers out there. We have offered Rasul Douglas. My plan is to move him to free safety to be a backup free safety whenever we move Nick Cross down into the box. We've got Ryan Wright here, a punter to replace Rigoberto Sanchez, and then Divine Diablo, the reigning tackle leader in the league, to be one of our starting linebackers. So let's go ahead and eval some offers here. We lost Divine Diablo. He signed with the Panthers. I hate him now. All right, I don't really see any other linebackers that I feel like targeting, so we're just going to probably try and get that through the draft. Man, I'm really upset that we didn't get Divine Diablo there. Still leading here for our other 2 targets. We do sign Rasul Douglas. All right, jumping ahead to stage 3 of 3, we did sign Ryan Wright to be our new punter, and Rasul Douglas is our other signing, and I think that's going to be it for us, man. There's really just not much else out there that we want to get into a bidding war over. We might end up signing some depth in the preseason. Actually, you know what? I kind of want to bring in Grady Jarrett to be a rotational D tackle as well. I think I might. If I can sign him with. Oh no, I don't want that bonus. Because I might end up wanting to cut him. Let's just eval it out. All right, free agency is over. Let's take a look at the free agent recap. Joel Bitonio goes to the Lions, and he is going to stay teamed up with Wyatt Teller, 2 Browns teammates going from Cleveland to Detroit and staying together and probably just dominating D-line. Zach Martin is going to go to the Titans. Tyrann Mathieu goes to the Falcons. Eric Armstead as well. David Njoku is going to go to the Lions as well. Interesting, because they've already got Sam Laporta. Micah Hyde to the Rams. Foye Oluokun to the Texans. Eddie Jackson also there. Damian Lewis to the Rams. Cowboys pick up Deion Dawkins after losing Tyron Smith last year. So good for them. I mean, Jared Goff to the Bucks. DeAndre Hopkins is going to go to the Jets. Samson Ebukam goes to the Rams. Bah! Joshua Palmer, last year's best wide receiver in the AFC, goes to Tennessee. That's an underrated pickup for them. So, not really a star-studded free agent class. Divine Diablo, of course, goes to the Panthers. I hate that. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. We will be fine. Mac Jones goes to the Jets. Poor Jets, man. They just can't catch a break. But overall, like I said, not really a star-studded free agent class. There's really not. I mean, Garrett Bowles remains unsigned. Some kickers and punters. But besides that, most of the top players are signed. Got Elijah Mitchell right there, running back. So let's take a look at who we are going to use our 3 private workouts on. All right, so we know we want to get some cornerbacks in this year's draft. We've got a bunch of them fully scouted, so I don't necessarily feel like we need to use private workouts on any of them. Like Patrick Beard is probably pretty good, but Gil Reese probably just as good and same projection. We know he's a first-round talent. Lorenzo Parsons, another first. I mean, a lot of really good cornerback talent here. Our number one target is Mark Felix. Top 5 talent, round 3 to 4. I mean, we're going to scoop him up in the second round probably. So, anyways, not going to use any private workouts here on cornerback. I would like to use it on those receivers. So we had Tyler Babb, Max Kirkpatrick, and there was another one down here somewhere. Okay, never mind. The other guy I was looking for was pretty bad. So, Max Kirkpatrick, 4.32 40 and a 4.35 40. So he was even faster in his pro day. We love to see that. So we're going to use him and also Tyler Babb, who ran a 4.33. So also a little bit faster in his pro day than his combine. So really good. He does have the concentration, like he makes concentration drops. So we don't like to see that, but he does seem like he could be pretty good. That awareness scares me off though. But I mean, at the very least, could pick him up in the second or third round and get a good value there with like somebody who's just really fast. So we're going to use those two guys. All right, and we're going to do middle linebacker Brendan Priester. Obviously, we have a middle linebacker in Trenton Simpson. But this guy, round 1 to 2, so somebody that we could pick up probably at pick 20 without having to move up at all. He's got A zone coverage. He's a little bit slower than I would like at 4.56, but I mean, still pretty good. And then B impact blocking, B play rec, A to B awareness. I think he's probably pretty good, and we should get him 100% scouted. So Brendan Priester, Tyler Babb, and Max Kirkpatrick are going to be our 3 focus guys here. All right, we are a week ahead, and we've got Tyler Babb, 90% scouted. He's got B catching traffic, A deep route, A spectacular catch. His awareness is, I thought it was C to F last week. Am I wrong? Now it's showing B to C, which I feel a lot better about. And then who else did we have? We have Max Kirkpatrick to take a look at. So Max Kirkpatrick is also super fast, and he's got C to D awareness, which isn't great. C catching. So I think it's pretty clear that he's not as good as Tyler Babb, but he's also probably, we can get him a lot later than Tyler Babb. So receiver's not necessarily a priority, but I wanted to see if maybe there was 1 or 2 that I could probably get in the second or third round if there's nobody else. So let's see. Who else did we have? Okay, Brendan Priester was the other one. We've got him 100% scouted. It doesn't show him as a round 1 talent or like top 5, you know, didn't show us anything great, but it does confirm for us that he is a round 1 to 2 talent. He's got D injury, which I'm a little concerned about, but A zone coverage, A awareness, 4.56 to 4.6 240. Pretty strong 4th middle linebacker. I mean, could be a pretty good player that as long as he's healthy. So I could be targeting him at pick 20, honestly. All right, here's how we are looking heading into the draft. Our offensive line is pretty set. We've got Harold Telfer, we've got Quentin Nelson, we've got Connor Stockton, Mekhi Becton, Braden Smith. It is the final year on Braden Smith's contract, maybe the final year on Quentin Nelson's as well. Let's take a look here. Although we will almost certainly re-sign Quentin Nelson. We've got him for 2 more years, but we do have Braden Smith expiring and maybe Mekhi Becton as well. So maybe we take an offensive lineman later in the draft to develop a little bit. We do have our 2 X factors on offense, Jonathan Taylor and Josh Downs. Underneath Josh Downs is Rashee Rice. You can't see him because of my beautiful mug. Oh, well, you can see him now. And then Jonathan Callaway, one of the young undrafted receivers. And then Laviska Shenault, obviously backing up Jonathan Taylor. And then Michael Pittman, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Alani Stamper over here. On defense, we are rocking Tevin Harvey, Nick Cross, our new X Factor on defense. At linebacker, we've got Shaq Leonard, Trenton Simpson, Owen Papo, same as before. Jalen Jones, Kenny Moore, Julius Brents at corner. Really the only big change here is Nick Cross being X Factor and Leonard Williams here instead of DeForest Buckner. So our defense has gotten worse for sure. We need to get some impact players on defense in the draft, and that's what we will be focusing on. That's going to wrap us up for today. Part 1 of the offseason in the books. Next time, we will take on the NFL draft, and we will take on our preseason, get our first look at our new rookies, work people into our scheme. I can't wait. So make sure you like and subscribe if you like the content. Turn on the notifications so you know when the next video goes live. As always, I appreciate y'all. Peace.